I'm Jason Rzucidlo reporting inside the Detroit Science Center. Now, the Motorsports Hall of Fame has moved its collection to right here in Midtown Detroit. Stay tuned for remarks from Hall of Famers Bob Bondurant, Elliott Forbes-Robinson, Dale Armstrong, Chris Karamesines, Danny Ongais, Mel Kenyon, Tom D'Eath, and Jeremy McGrath.
Mel has been running in midgets. I remember him running the Indianapolis 500. I tell people I go back to the old wooden garages with Indianapolis. I remember Jim D'Eath with ice down beer at the front engine of his Roadster in the garage, back in the wooden garages. But Mel, you have raced and raced and raced and raced for so long. What keeps you going back? I understand your wife finally said you can't do it anymore, but did you run in Fort Wayne, Indiana not that long ago?
I think it's still on. Yeah, we ran last December. I started there, and that's where I finished. And we were able to start 14th and finish 6th, and the first day. And the second day we started 15th, and with a long yellow flag and then a red flag, I only got up to 9th place, darn. But nevertheless, we finished, and that's great. It's just fun to go around in circles, and I've been able to race again with a lot of different people around the world, New Zealand, Australia, as well as this country. And it's just kind of fun, sometimes 90 times a year, and that's good. You know, you got to keep your equipment together, so you have no time to replace it or repair it. And so we had to kind of take care of our stuff. Nowadays, it's not quite that easy, and we have a lot of kids. Now you can start in a midget when you're 11 years old, and I had to wait till I was 21. So this is different this time, and at this particular time in racing, things are kind of difficult. Sponsors are hard to find, and race cars are not showing up at the racetrack anymore, but nevertheless, when we do show up, we do have a good time.
Absolutely, and maybe since you got that late start in racing, that's why you're doing it longer in life.
Well, I was only 77 when I quit, so.
Only. And you can probably, and I'm sure you could step in a race car right now in a midget and probably be in the top 5 at the end of the night.
I would hope so.
Spoken like a real racer. Mel Kenyon, he still lives in Lebanon, Indiana, which is great, which is just north of Indianapolis. Shirley Will Downing, we all know, and I'm going to quickly get to Shirley. Your career, when you go back and look at it, how times have changed from the days where you had to fight the NHRA, you had to fight everybody to get your chance on the racetrack. Today we look around at NHRA, and there seems to be women everywhere. Ashley Forshood, we see her, Melanie Fox is there, Hillary Hill. It has changed so much, but in your days, you had to scratch and claw and everything, and obviously you got right on top and won those championships.
Luckily, I think I was a victim of maybe being a little ahead of my time. There was no money in it then, and now they're swimming in money out there. But it's, I think it was a matter of someone had to open the doors. It wasn't my goal. It was my timing. And I was out there not wanting to be the first lady to do this and that and whatever. I wanted to be just a racer with an opportunity to go out there, and it's just the way it was. I was the only girl, so I had to beat the boys. And they hated me. Even the boys, fellas that I didn't race against, they had this something, whatever it was, against me being out there. And I think it was mainly when the fellas left home, they left home to go to the track and maybe get away from the girls. And there I was when they pulled through the gate. So they had to contend with something they weren't used to in the past. And I told them to hang on because it's just the beginning. Luckily, I stayed there in nitro fuel racing for 33 years without a major sponsorship or assistance. And I had some people that certainly helped me along the way, not with just, funding, but just great friends that I needed. People, a shoulder to lean on, and someone to be able to talk to. My main supporter from day one gave me the first dollars that I ever had in my hand to go racing was Mel. He will always be my favorite. I am very dedicated to a good sponsor for motorsports in Goodyear. What they have done, no other company will ever, I think, be able to compete with. I'm not going to be a commercial out here today. I have no deal with them, but I must admit that Goodyear is at the top of my list. I would love to be able to continue in the sport in some fashion. The only bad thing about drag racing is the fact that it may be over for me. Driving the car it was natural. I miss it every day of my life. I would like to go back and settle a few more scores. It never ends. It will always be there, and I will always have good racers to race against. I think the up-and-coming racers of today, they have wonderful facilities. They have terrific opportunities. And again, now the doors are wide open for the women, and I think yeah, no doubt. It took a fight to be able to achieve that, but I'm glad it was me because I love a good fight.
Thank you, Bill. I'm personally proud to announce that I'm a member of the American Automobile Racing Writers and Broadcasters Association in 1975. Made Shirley our first female on the All-Star team that we put out every year. And I feel proud that the organization realized back in 1975 we had to include everybody. And that is great. I think we have a question. Yes, Cal.
Yeah, my question is for Tom. Everybody talks about the Detroit River course. Why was it so difficult and challenging for the racers?
The question was, why was the Detroit River course so challenging for the unlimited hydroplane powerboat racers? Quite honestly, of course, I grew up not too far away, right off the Fox Creek Canal on Ashland Avenue, which was the dividing line between Grosse Pointe and Detroit. So I consider myself a river rat. So us river rats, when we were kids, used to ride our bicycles right down when we heard the Thunderboats testing, and this is back in the era of Danny Foster, Chuck Thompson, and the Shainas. But the course itself presented a lot of obstacles. On the Detroit side, first of all, I'll start off with the current. There's a 7-knot current heading south, coming from Lake St. Clair down toward Lake Erie. So that, coupled up with an irregular bottom that the Detroit River Racecourse has, creates what we call ground swells. And on the Detroit side, there's seawalls. And when the wakes from the boats go by at 200 miles an hour, their wakes hit those seawalls and come back out again on the front straightaway, coupled up with the ground swells. The large turn, which is down at the Belle Isle Bridge, and this course is very unique because we have one of the tightest corners at the Rooster Tail end and one of the largest corners in unlimited hydroplane racing at the Belle Isle Bridge. And when you exited that turn, you had the rollers down there too, especially when they ran the 3-mile course, which we ran when I won my first Gold Cup in 1976. But the rollers were tremendous down there, and hydroplanes like smooth water, they're thoroughbreds. I mean, you wouldn't put a thoroughbred on a race course with chuck holes in it, and we don't like putting unlimited hydroplanes on race course with large swells. The boats get airborne, but threading the needle between the Detroit Boat Club and the exit buoy at the Belle Isle Bridge turn was exactly that, threading the needle. You only had a few hundred feet between that exit pin and the docks, so you better be right on target and your line better be good through that corner. And of course, the bouncing rollers and the aerodynamics of the boat took place at that point, because now we're entering the fastest part of the race course, which is on the Belle Isle Bathing Beach side. Now the Belle Isle Bathing Beach side is totally different, because now you're going against the current. The wakes from the boats are washing up against the beach, and they don't come back. So that's the smoothest part of the racetrack, where you can really pick them up and lay them down. But now you're approaching the Detroit Yacht Club docks, and the narrowest corner there is. So you're going 200 some miles an hour, and you have to purposely aim toward the Detroit Yacht Club docks, which is a little unnerving. And then when you get there, what I did anyway, is I tried to go in wide.